Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another victorious edition of John Hamill's Archives, exclusively, but not for long, here on YouTube. Now, I had a lot to talk about this week, so I just want to get right into it. Of course, we're going to get into the Philadelphia Eagle game, but before we do that, there's some other things that I wanted to discuss really quick, some issues around the league that I was kind of flabbergasted at this last couple weeks. The first is a couple questionable coaching decisions by, in my opinion, a couple of questionable head coaches. The first being, and note everybody, it's not Wade Phillips. I'm done kicking the dead horse, and those guys are off my radar anyway. So the first guy is Brad Childress, who I'm frankly embarrassed was ever a head coach or an offensive coordinator was ever associated with the Philadelphia Eagle organization. Now, this is a perfect example of an individual not knowing their role and, just thinking that just because they're successful at one position, they can translate seamlessly into another position. It's like, Buddy Ryan, rest in peace. I'm sorry, not Buddy Ryan. Jimmy Johnson, rest in peace. Jimmy Johnson was a great defensive coordinator and was approached several times about becoming a head coach, but Jimmy Johnson would never do something like that because Jimmy Johnson knew that he was best suited for being a defensive coordinator. Meaning, just because you're a great defensive or offensive coordinator, which I'll give Brad Childress his props, he's a good offensive coordinator. He knows how to call an offensive playbook. But when it comes to head coaching, from day one, from the second this guy took over the Minnesota Vikings, from sending people to recruit Brett Favre in the sticks, to letting him dictate when he wants to play, to signing all these free agents and stockpiling a team full of high-priced free agents that are going to be around for a couple years to try to cough up a cheap couple of playoff wins. Just to arguing on the field, the guy is just not a good head coach, and quite frankly, he's embarrassing. And to cut Randy Moss, which is why, obviously, I'm saying this in the first place, is one of the most ridiculous, poorest coaching decisions that I've ever seen my entire life. Randy Moss, he comes with the warning sticker. When you get him, you know exactly what you're getting with him. The fact that they cut him, I know I saw his interview. He didn't say anything bad in his interview. So what? He gave props to the New England Patriots, and he supposedly went off on a caterer in the back. I'm not condoning, I'm not saying this is good behavior on Randy Moss's part, but for you to cut him from the team when you guys are 2-5 and struggling and you need an offensive weapon, that's just, it's just outrageous. It's just ridiculous. What really happened is Randy Moss approached the owner of the Vikings. He said that, he thinks that Brad Childress needs to be fired. I'm sure Brad Childress caught wind of this. He started panicking, and he cut the guy without the owner's permission. And the owner was actually supposedly going to fire Brad Childress over this Randy Moss debacle. And if that's me, if I'm waking up in the morning and my head coach is cutting people without my permission, that guy is gone. They asked the question on the NFL channel, does Brad Childress need to get fired? And it should have been last week. It should have been 2 weeks ago. The guy's a terrible head coach. I'm not condoning Randy Moss's behavior, but right now, Randy Moss would be much more valuable to that team than Brad Childress. Another terrible coaching decision, guy that I think's got to go. He's got to go yesterday. Mike Shanahan. It's the Joe Gibbs factor, man. These guys do a lot. 10 years ago, they take 10 years off of football. They lose track of the game. They think they could come back. And just because they did something good in the past, they think they could inexplicably cough something up. Just go out there and play football, man. Stop getting creative. Stop thinking you guys are smarter than the system. You're pulling your quarterback, your starting franchise quarterback, with 2 minutes left in the game, man. First of all, your backup quarterback is Rex Grossman. The mere fact that you think that you're going to win the game with Rex Grossman is absolutely despicable. This guy needs to get fired. He has no business being a head coach. Donovan McNabb has 24 2-minute fourth quarter comebacks in his career, third only to Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. He's tied with Tom Brady. Rex Grossman is a bum. And then his explanation of why he did it was just changed. At first it was because this guy gives me the best chance to win. Well, if your starting franchise quarterback doesn't give you the best chance to win in a 2-minute drill, then he shouldn't be your starting franchise quarterback. Maybe it's because you just don't know how to use him, just like Brad Childress doesn't know how to use Randy Moss. Randy Moss was incredibly happy with Bill Belichick, and Donovan McNabb was incredibly happy with Andy Reid. You guys are just bad old fossil coaches that need to go. The Joe Gibbs factor, man, just because it worked once in the past, it doesn't mean that it's going to work now in today's present. Okay, so I'm done ranting and raving. Sorry about that, but these coaches are really pissing me off. The mere fact that Randy Moss hit the waiver wire is a travesty. A travesty by on all indications on every level. And believe me, if he went to the New England Patriots, that's where he was going to go. Bill Belichick tried to sign Randy Moss in June. Randy Moss said, let's talk about it after the season. Bill Belichick and the Patriots closed the door on the operation. Randy Moss was quoted as saying, there goes my opportunity. All right, I'm talking too much. Let's go to the Birds really quick. Big, huge win, 24-26. Anytime you could get a victory over the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning, that is a great accomplishment. Yesterday, I will tell you one thing. The best quarterback on the field was definitely Michael Vick. The guy looked phenomenal again. The score was not as close as the game indicated. A really, really, really cheap call when the Eagles were driving and they were up 26 to 19, and Trent Cole came around, slapped open hand Peyton Manning on the back of his head, made him stripped him of the ball, made him fumble. They called a roughing the passer. They got the ball back, scored a touchdown. It was, the referees, even Mike and Mike in the morning said it was one of the worst calls. They both agreed it was one of the worst calls they've ever seen. The referees, it seemed like the Manning effect was in full force last night. The referees love this guy. Everybody loves this guy. The NFL named him number 8 greatest player of all time, which is just a fucking joke because he's not even the best quarterback of his generation. That belongs to Tom Brady. In big game moments, Mr. Peyton Manning, you never did it for me, and Tom Brady is a much more successful quarterback than you, in my opinion, and hence his 3 Super Bowl titles and his record-setting performance a couple years back. But they love this guy. They love the Patriots. They try to give him the game, in my opinion. It was just dirty. They just try to do the Eagles dirty all game. Big game for nonetheless, the Eagles withstood the dirtiness, overcame it, fought back hard and held on for the win. Deshaun Jackson over 100 yards. LaShawn McCoy only 16 carries, 95 yards. The Eagles are looking really, really good. They're looking crisp. They should be 6-2 instead of 5-3 with the win over the Tennessee Titans. But again, they blew it in the fourth quarter. So now it looks like it's coming to a showdown with Big Blue. And, we'll see if what everybody's saying, we'll see if Big Blue can match the hype that everybody's putting on him, because Lord knows that, just about everybody is crowning the Giants right now. Again, it's one of the best. But, maybe that'll change this next week. Maybe the Eagles will be mentioned in those conversations amongst the NFC with this victory over the Indianapolis Colts. So, great game, Asante Samuel. 2 picks for him. Great game, Eagle defense. They shut down Peyton Manning the whole game. They looked great against the run. I really have no complaints. It was just, the referees took away what would have been a dominant 3-score victory, which, thank God was a close victory. Dallas Cowboys 1-7. Absolutely pathetic. They got destroyed by the Packers last night. Wade Phillips got to go, but the longer he stays, that's a good thing for, the rest of the league and us Eagle fans. So this is John Ammo coming to you from the archives. Thanks for watching. Eagles, baby.